Hey guys, we are back at Fairlady Customz and we are talking with Nicole, who's the owner of this lovely red GTR. Nicole, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Doing super
good.
Awesome. Tell us about your car, please. What was your inspiration behind getting it? The whole color scheme?
Okay.
Fast intentions plans?
Okay.
All that good stuff.
All right. So when we got this car, one of my goals at the time was to have a nice car that had a lot of speed to it. I had not necessarily thought about this car.
Okay.
But one of my goals was to make sure I had all my debt paid off. That way I would feel perfectly comfortable in whatever I was buying.
Right.
We had a 370Z. Was kind of the inspiration behind getting the car itself.
Okay.
We looked for probably about 2 years. We looked at several different models. We looked at some of the brand new cars. Drove some of the brand new cars, looked at some of the older ones. And I knew I wanted something newer than a 2010. But I didn't necessarily need a new one.
Right.
So I happened to be out of state at the time that I found this one online, and I loved the red and black tones to it. At the time it was red and carbon fiber.
Okay.
So what happened when I saw the red, I love red, all of our cars seem to be red.
Right.
And I told Frank, I was like, hey, I found this car, I need you to go look at it. I feel like this is the car. And if you're a car enthusiast, you kind of know that car has to speak to you. It's got to get inside your soul. It has to become a part of you.
Exactly.
And I had not seen it physically, only online.
Okay.
So when he went and looked at it, he said the car is great, it's beautiful, you picked out a great car. When I got home, I was able to go and take a look at the car without even driving it. It was actually up on a lift, and so I didn't actually get to see anything but the bottom.
Right.
But I knew that was the car. There's something about the car was fascinating to me.
Right.
So we've done a little bit of work to it since that time. It was already a little bit modified, had about 500, just over 500 horsepower at the time.
Okay.
So we went ahead and increased it. I took it to a track day and got beat by a highly modified race car, but barely, just barely. Ugh, and it drove me crazy. So that was Need for Speed,
right.
Come Alive.
There you go.
So we put in the green turbos. We did the E85 conversion. That was some of the things we did. Brought it to about 700 horsepower.
Nice.
So now I'm ready to get back on that track again and see what we can do with it.
Awesome.
So some of the paint work that Fairlady Customz has actually done for us. When the carbon fiber started to yellow, it was very difficult to figure out what we were going to do.
Right.
I looked into doing a wrap, having it repainted, buying a new hood, and all of those options were a little pricey for what it was. So when Brandon said, can I be experimental, I'm like, sure. You know, the world is your oyster at this point.
Right.
So he said, how do you feel about putting a red metal flake into the paint? And I'm like, absolutely. In my mind, I instantly thought glitter. So he did that on the hood, and eventually we've done the rest of the parts, the rear wing and all that too.
Right.
So I'm absolutely obsessed with it now. It's very unique, it's very different.
It is.
A lot of people don't know what it is, which is one of the reasons why I got the car. I wanted something different. Porsche, everybody knows what that Porsche looks like. There's so many models of them, it's confusing.
Right.
And I'm not knocking the Lambos and the Ferraris, because Lord knows those are some fascinating cars, but you know what those are when you see those.
Right.
So with this, it was just different, it was unique, and it was so many things that you can do to the car. And I love the way it looks. I love the way it handles and it drives. The all-wheel drive is fantastic for speed and cornering. So it's my baby. Her name is Jezebel. I should have said that to begin with.
Okay.
So Jezebel is my therapy session, as I call it. When I drive the car, it's my therapy session.
Nice.
So definitely
if you're
obsessed
not
with
driving
it.
the car, there's some of the guy driving it. Who's that guy?
That would be my life, my heaven, my husband, my crazy Frank.
Okay.
So I let him drive it every once in a while.
Okay. All right. Because every now and then we see, hey, that's Frank's car. And, we got to correct that and say, no, Frank has permission to drive it.
It's funny because if anybody says, oh man, you've got a great car, he'll correct them right away and say, that's my wife's car. And I'm like, just say it's ours. Just say it's ours. It's okay.
Yeah, this is awesome. Love red. My car is also red. And we still have to do a red car photo shoot at some point.
Oh yes, I would love that.
Once my car is back up and running, we'll be in touch.
We have to make sure it's not up and running.
Oh, yeah, I'm so sorry. So it's all good. We will definitely check it out. Salsa Z Days, I think you guys won your category again.
Yes.
I love
Absolutely.
the wing because that's definitely bigger than stock.
Yes.
For sure.
It is.
Do you know what type of wing that is?
I don't. It's a wing.
But I mean, it has the OEM look, but just a bit bigger on top.
Yes,
so,
it is.
That
Yeah.
works.
It's definitely different.
Definitely more aggressive than last year. So
Yeah.
yeah. All right, well, I definitely appreciate it, Nicole.
Absolutely.
Love seeing this on the road. Love seeing when it goes into race mode.
I love when it's in race mode. I love driving it in race mode.
Nice. All right, so where can we find more information on this build? If you have an Instagram for it or your own Instagram.
I'm actually getting ready to set up an Instagram for the car itself because it has been requested a lot lately. I don't know where that's coming from, but I am actually building some content for that at the moment.
All right.
So, but my personal one is South, every single word has an underscore after it. So it's South GA girl, South Georgia GTR Jeep gal. Sorry, I can't even think right now. South Georgia GTR Jeep gal. That's it.
There we go.
I'll get it out eventually.
Because you also got a Jeep.
I do have a Jeep.
Yes.
Kind of obsessed with the Jeep too.
Right.
Jeep Wranglers. Yes. It's a Jeep thing. You wouldn't understand.
Right. Jeep life is a different life.
It is.
Being at SEMA and seeing like so many Jeeps.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's one of the goals on my list is to get to SEMA pretty quickly. Yeah.
Tune in for the next interview when we look at Nicole's Jeep. All right. Thanks, guys. Thank you, Nicole.
Absolutely.
All right.